Hi everyone, Bruce here. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm sharing with you a unique interview technique I often use, a moral reasoning assessment. I base it on the frameworks of Lawrence Kohlberg's stages of moral development. And this simple scenario can help you identify key character traits in candidates, from strict rule followers to big picture thinkers. Understanding these differences can help you choose the right person for roles that range from policy-driven to investigative and strategic. Of course, there are other questions to ask, but I have been asked by many to share this technique on my channel. Let me set the scene. Imagine you're interviewing someone for a role that requires a strong sense of responsibility. You pose this hypothetical situation. You've just moved into a new neighborhood, and you find out your next-door neighbor, who has been a great member of the community and have children who are friends with yours, is a previously convicted murderer who served some time but escaped, and is now living a quiet, unassuming, but exemplary life. He helps out when he can and is always there as support for community initiatives. What would you do? Offer the candidate 3 possible actions. 1. Report the neighbor immediately to the authorities or tell others. 2. Confirm the information through investigation or by confronting him directly. 3. Ignore the information and carry on as usual. Now, let's explore what each choice might reveal about your candidate's thinking and what it means for different types of roles. Let's start with option 1. Reporting the neighbor. This response could show a focus on rules, safety, and social order. If a candidate chooses this option, they're likely prioritizing policies and procedures over personal discretion. In a work setting, this might indicate someone who's reliable in following company policies, an excellent trait for roles that require strict adherence to guidelines, such as compliance officers, junior staff members, or administrative positions. For these roles, consistency and rule following are key. Option 2. Confirming the information. When someone wants to investigate further, it suggests they aren't satisfied with surface-level answers and want to get to the truth themselves. This kind of approach is valuable in supervisory or management roles, where employees need to gather facts, assess situations critically, and then decide on a course of action. It shows the candidate is comfortable making judgment calls and balancing rules with situational needs. If you prefer a manager to be more like option 1, that's of course your choice. But keep in mind, you're simply having someone enforce rules and not handle unexpected challenges, which their superior would have to deal with themselves. Option 3. Ignoring the information. Lastly, if a candidate chooses to ignore the information, you may need to probe deeper. Sometimes, it's a sign of respecting privacy or focusing on bigger picture issues rather than getting involved in details. This perspective can be beneficial for high-level executive roles, where the ability to prioritize and focus on long-term strategies outweighs rigid rule following. But if they choose to ignore the reality, it may indicate a lack of responsibility, or even their focus being on self-interest, if done for convenience. A follow-up question about why they'd ignore it could reveal more about their character and motivations. If they state their reason to be around them, considering the bigger picture, they're more likely strategic thinkers who conscribe to the rule that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or that doing right is more important than being right. This could be more suitable to an executive or senior role that requires looking at the consequences affecting the stability of a company than simply being an executioner of principle. If their view is that it's none of their business or who cares, that should be a definite red flag. Of course, your executive could be more like option 2. It depends what you're looking for and how much control you wish them to have over the day-to-day decisions within the business. In any case, using this kind of moral reasoning scenario gives you a unique lens to view a candidate's values and decision-making style. Are they more rules-focused? Do they have an investigative mind? Or are they big-picture thinkers? In roles from strict policy enforcers to strategic leaders, having this insight can help you match the right traits to the right position. And remember, there's no perfect answer here. The real magic is in understanding how the candidate thinks, what they value, and how their approach aligns with the needs of the role you're hiring for. Then, you may ask, what happens if a potential candidate watched this video as preparation for their interview and tries to manipulate this moral dilemma assessment? There are some steps you can take to get an authentic response by shifting the approach and adding some follow-up questions. First, instead of asking only the classic neighbor with a criminal past question, offer different hypothetical dilemmas with varied contexts but similar moral themes. For example, you discover that a close colleague has made a serious mistake that could harm the company if unnoticed. Would you report, investigate, or ignore? Or you could ask, you're aware of a team member who's bending minor rules, which benefits their performance. What would you do? I prefer to take the scenario out of the workplace because it can create other dilemmas, such as not looking like a team player, etc. Whatever you decide, a variation tests consistency, making it difficult for candidates to pre-plan responses. You can then also ask why they chose a particular option. This will often reveal more than the choice itself. You could ask them, what factors influenced your decision? Or, how do you think your choice impacts others? Their explanation will show you how deeply they understand and value the principles guiding their response, which is harder to fabricate convincingly. If you want to go further, ask for some past examples, like, can you share a past experience where you faced a similar moral or ethical decision? Or, how did you handle it? And would you do anything differently now? This approach reveals behavioral patterns and ensures their moral reasoning isn't solely theoretical. Challenge them to think on their feet by introducing a twist, such as, imagine that the neighbor has also been volunteering in the community. Does that change your approach? Or, what if you find out that reporting the person would have severe personal consequences? Adapting to evolving scenarios will test their genuine adaptability and reasoning. Lastly, take note. If the candidate seems overly rehearsed, anxious, or inconsistent when asked about moral reasoning, as this can sometimes indicate insincerity. Comfortable, candid responses suggest more authentic answers, whereas overly polished answers may hint at premeditation. Whatever you do, these methods can help you gauge a candidate's true moral reasoning abilities, adaptability, and character, even when they're aware of the assessment's purpose. If you found this technique helpful, hit the like button, and if you're interested in any of my other videos, don't forget to subscribe. Drop a comment below on which of these options resonates with you the most, or if you'd consider using this technique in your own hiring process. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.